AITA for leaving my mom at the airport with no ticket and no plan? For some background, my mom was abusive growing up. It got bad enough that at 12, I left home through the courts and moved in with my dad. That decision fractured our family. On the court paperwork, under name of child, she wrote something like, "I have no son." I've carried that with me ever since. I had little contact with her after that. Briefly at 17, again in my early 20s, and not consistently until much later. I'm now almost 40. I spent over 20 years drinking heavily and finally got sober in 2018, which is when I made an effort to reconnect with my family, including my mom. She's closer to 70 now and has zero contact with 2 of her 3 kids. Reconnecting wasn't easy. When I asked if she ever reflected on the abuse, she told me I was an adult and needed to let it go already. That was a turning point. I realized any forgiveness would be one-sided. If I wanted peace, it was on me. Since then, our relationship has been rocky, but present. We've had family reunions and even traveled overseas together for 3 weeks. We argue often, usually over small things, but we stayed in contact until this. Last summer, I invited her to my city to see a band she's loved since I was young. The plan was simple. She'd arrive on Wednesday, we'd go to the concert on Thursday, she'd fly out to visit my sisters on Friday, and I'd leave early Saturday for my own trip. She agreed. When she arrived, she mentioned she'd only bought a one-way ticket and would book the Friday flight later. That made me uneasy, and I reminded her several times to make sure it was booked. I thought I was clear in my wording and tone that I didn't want anyone staying in my house while I was gone. Friday came. The concert was fine. Then she told me she still hadn't bought a plane ticket, and now, with prices having gone up, she planned to stay a few extra days while I was away. I told her plainly, "I'm leaving at 5 a.m. tomorrow. You need to get on that plane." I even offered to cover the extra costs. She refused and invited herself to stay at my place. That's when I said clearly that I wasn't comfortable with anyone staying in my home while I wasn't there. She accused me of not trusting her and said she was my mother. I said it wasn't about trust. I just didn't want anyone in my house. The argument escalated. Finally, she said, "Fine, take me to the airport." I think she expected me to cave. I didn't. I packed the car, grabbed my daughter, and drove her to the airport in silence. When we arrived, it felt like a standoff, like she was waiting for me to say, "Never mind, don't go." I didn't. I took her bag out, set it on the curb, and told her, "If you can't find a ticket, let me know. I can help you pay for a hotel." Then I left. Months later, I'm still thinking about it. I don't think I stranded my mom with no options. I offered to cover the cost of the flight and hotel, but I did leave her at the airport knowing she hadn't booked a ticket. AITA?
Am I the a-hole for skipping my own surprise birthday party once I found out it wasn't really for me? I have never been big on birthdays. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate them. I just prefer something low-key. Dinner with my closest friends, maybe watch a film, something small, basically. Everyone close to me knows this, especially my sister, let's call her Maya, who loves big gestures and believes every birthday or achievement needs balloons and a theme and much, much more. 2 weeks before my birthday, Maya started acting strange. She kept asking me if I'd be free that Saturday and acted weirdly when I asked why. I suspected that she was up to something, so I told her again that I didn't want to party. She just laughed and said that, as per usual, I was being no fun. A couple of nights ago, the night before my birthday, one of our mutual friends let it slip about it being a party, and she mentioned what she was wearing. Anyway, turns out the whole family was invited, and it was at our parents' house. Some co-workers were also invited, but here's the kicker, my fucking ex. For a little context, my ex and I broke up about 2 months ago. It ended pretty badly, no abuse or cheating, but it wasn't a pleasant ending. I've made it pretty clear to everyone in my life that I want no contact. Maya knows this. However, she's told me multiple times that I should just get over the whole situation because he's a nice guy and that he's been a part of all our lives for years. The first thing that I did was call Maya, demanding answers, and she didn't deny it. She just said that we could finally talk it all out. She admitted that she hadn't just thrown this party for my birthday, but also so everyone could see my ex again, and we could fix things between us. She literally said to me that I'd thank her later. I went mad. I said to her she had no right, that I would have been ambushed into the situation on my birthday. And this was all after I had specifically said that I didn't want a party. She just said that I was dramatic and bloody ungrateful, that she had this whole thing planned because I wouldn't find better and it was a good gift. She said everyone had gifts and traveled, that everyone was excited. So yesterday, my birthday, I completely powered off my phone and didn't let anyone know other than my best friend. So we went out for lunch and went on a walk together. Ended up having a great day. When I finally got home, I turned my phone on, and it was mental. Maya was fuming, people were disappointed, people even said I embarrassed Maya. Maya is now basically saying that I ruined the whole party and made it all about me. It was literally my birthday. She says that she did it out of a good place in her heart, and that I should at least apologize for not showing up and letting people know. So am I the asshole?
Am I the a-hole for leaving my friend on red for 3 to 4 hours? I am 17, met my friend, F15, online about a year ago. We were originally in a group chat together and she started DMing me. We've been talking every day for the last 7 to 8 months, and we're really close, so this hurts me a lot. Everything was fine, and well, we did get into certain arguments occasionally, but it was good for the most parts, and we really clicked, I think. We didn't call all that often, and we mostly texted, but really often. However, a few days ago, I was in a call with another friend for a few hours, and I accidentally left her on red. Keep in mind, this was not an ongoing conversation. Once I check my phone after the call, I see that she sent me a message saying that she was upset that I left her on red, and I immediately apologized many times. But I also did say sometimes you don't reply for even longer, which is true. We ended up talking for a while after that, but it was super dry, and she didn't seem interested in talking to me at the moment. I tell her that we should call more, but you never want to call anymore, and she sees this as me shifting the blame on her. I tell her that was not my intention at all, and I don't think she believed me. She tells me that she wants to sleep, and I was like, okay, I will too then. Next morning, I apologize once again, and I say I didn't mean to hurt you and stuff like that. Later in the day, she tells me that she wants to take a break because she wanted to prepare for the next semester of school. I knew this was a lie because of what just occurred, but I said, okay, that's fine. But I also said, I just want to know what I did. That's so bad. We ended up not speaking to one another for the next 2 to 3 days. It was Saturday night when she posted on her page with a few of her closest friends, including me, about me. She wrote about how she's having some problems with a friend. She first speaks about how we've been friends for so long and how we've been talking so much. She then talks about how in every argument she's the one apologizing and that she feels manipulated. I know this might have been the case at some instances that she's apologized, but I apologized many times too. I don't know if she truly doesn't recognize this or she just wants approval from her friends. I love her to death and I don't want to lose our friendship. I don't know what to do at this point and I just need advice. It hurts me so much.
Think you know who's right? Smash that like button, subscribe, and let me know your verdict in the comments. Let's see if the internet agrees.